Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chicken Mustard Podcast.
I love honey
and
mustard
mustard.
on my chicken. Eating a burger
Oh.
with no honey mustard.
I'm Chicken.
And I'm mustard!
Oh no, he's Mustard.
Wait,
No, he's mustard. I'm the space in between.
no, you're the shoe.
Because you're
What?
chicken.
If
I'm
he was a
space,
shoe, that'd
you're
be pretty
mustard.
nice.
Wait.
Wait.
Oh,
my God.
Everyone,
Wait, I don't know. I don't get the joke. Help me.
listen, buddy. It's okay. See, every 11 episodes, we do something very special here on this podcast. And today, it's my turn to do a documentary. We're talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the man who can eat anything, ShoeNice22. I got a special interview with him coming up shortly.
You want to just play the interview now?
Sure. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Complimentary Mania, back at you again. And today is a very special episode. We have on a celebrity. Not just any, but the one and only ShoeNice, devourer of all.
Hey everyone, ShoeNice again. Thanks for having me.
Oh boy, so to start this off, ShoeNice, is there anything you want to talk about? Just like get off your chest? Anything going on in the ShoeNice world?
No, not really. Just happy that, we're going to get America back. That's all I got to say.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All right, let's jump into this. So, this is sort of a documentary episode that we do about every 11 episodes, and I decided for the 22nd episode, of course, it's got to be ShoeNice22, right? See what I did there?
Yeah, definitely.
So, let's start out from the beginning, right, ShoeNice? Your channel
No
was made
problem.
back in 2008. It was forever ago. You were practically born with YouTube. So, how did things start out?
Well, actually, I joined YouTube in 2008 to watch, the Japanese tsunamis were, hey, be quiet. Be quiet. Sorry about that, bro. And I kind of joined YouTube because I seen the Obama election and people were able to ask questions, and I was always like into entertainment, so I joined, but then I just kind of sat back and I really didn't do anything. So it was like 2 years later, actually, December 8th, 2010, when I uploaded my first video. It was just,
Okay.
quick jokes, and I just did joke after joke, and I was able to share on Facebook and Twitter. I blew up really quick because I went to like 5 different school districts during high school. So,
No.
I mean, I knew a lot of people, and I knew a lot of people that just knew I was an entertainer eating crazy stuff because I did it way before YouTube. So, I mean, it just started, I finally just said, screw it, I'm going to eat a roll of toilet paper like I did in high school at parties, and that's when I started to blow up. That's how I started out.
Now, when you started out, were you going straight to like the bizarre food consumption videos, or did you try something else?
Well, that's what I just said. I started out, they were called trailer trash jokes.
Right.
Because I had acquired a single wide trailer on 3 acres up on top of a mountain. I really wasn't in a trailer park, as far as trailer park trash. But I started doing like these hillbilly jokes, and I'd share them on Facebook, and I would go and infiltrate everybody. I would just go to the high school district. I knew everybody there. They'd be like, "Wow, dude, you always were supposed to be a stand-up comic." And then they were like, "What about the eating?" Because they all seen it before you two. I mean, I've been eating crazy things since I can't even remember. My mom would tell me about it. I ate a pack of non-filtered Camel cigarettes when I was like 4 years old, and I turned blue, and I was close to death right there.
Lord.
But yeah, going into art class in like kindergarten or whatever, I'd just always be eating the paste, and it was either the teachers or my mom was pulling stuff out of my mouth all through elementary school. And it just led up into middle school, high school parties, bar scenes, traveling out of town with roofers. I would just do all these stunts and then beat everybody and get their money. And we just drink for free, eating beer coasters and ripping beer bottles off.
I mean, you gotta
They're
pass
tough.
the time somehow,
Yeah.
right?
What's that, buddy?
I said you gotta pass the time somehow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was always an entertainer, and I was always that one that said, I dare you, or dare me to do this. Always challenging somebody.
So eating bizarre things is definitely your brand of like humor and entertainment, but honestly, you're a pretty funny guy. You do the quips and stuff before you do the eating. You get that solid minute or two of just ShoeNice charm. And I'm honestly surprised at this point that you haven't tried to do like stand-up comedy, or maybe I have and I just haven't delved into it enough. Have you ever considered that as a venture?
I did stand-up comedy after I broke my back falling through a skylight. I was in the union, and I couldn't go back to roofing, so I just started doing stand-up comedy probably 2004. I would do like Wi-Fi little coffee shops. People back in the day would go to places to catch a Wi-Fi. And I was opening act for like state headliners and like comedy works and stuff.
Right.
And
So
I
it
would do
was kind of like a
comedy
local
for
thing.
like weekend outings and stuff, or fundraisers for friends, somebody that passed away, or so. But the whole thing with stand-up comedy is if you're not Jerry Seinfeld or Tosh Point oh, you really it's a tough gig now. You know,
Absolutely.
just the way that people can't take a joke anymore. You're dealing with the public, and you got to travel with all the airlines, and I just
Yeah, you're
it's not
stepping on a
worth it.
sea of glass, essentially.
So yeah, I chose to become a sit-down comedian now on TikTok and YouTube.
It's a lot
In
easier.
January, yeah, January 2025, it's a whole different world. There's no more eating stuff. I've been sober 5 months today,
Oh,
so
awesome.
really,
Congratulations to you.
oh, no problem. Thanks, man. There's a time in your life where you gotta either settle down or you're gonna settle out.
Right. I understand. We brought up Tosh.0 briefly during that blurb. Do you want to speak on that further? What was it like? Did he just kind of contact you and say, "Hey, can we use some clips? Can we do a small interview?" All that, or was it something bigger?
Well, Daniel Tosh is probably a fan of Shoe Nice in my first year into YouTube. Everybody knew me around the world, actually. So there was that moment where Tosh found me, and then he actually got a show. So I seen Tosh do stand up even before he got his Comedy Central gig. He was doing Comedy Central Friday night gigs for an hour on that channel, and he was a few other places. So we kind of like met each other before the whole thing, and he took that deodorant video, he put it up on Tosh, and he dubbed it over, kind of made it, really weird. And then years went by, and finally they were just sitting around one day, and Tosh is like to his producers, "Whatever happened to that guy that was eating the deodorant?" And they looked me up. I didn't believe them, and he's like, "Well, call me on Skype." This wasn't Daniel, this is the producer, but I recognized him in the table, so it was legit. So they flew me out, and everything was fake on there. They wouldn't let me eat anything. Like Steve
Oh,
will do it. They made him eat and throw up, but they were making me spit everything back into a plastic bag, and
oh, that's
so
lame.
like
That's not
everything.
commitment.
Fake.
That's not commitment. That's lame as fuck.
Yeah, I was kind of like, but either way, you can't just eat roofing tar, which was brownie mix. That's, you're going to die. You eat roofing tar. And
Absolutely.
all the other thing, like the insulation was cotton candy. I was kind of happy, I didn't have to eat any crazy stuff.
I mean, that
But it
is
all happened
certainly
really
nice.
quick. Like, it's the most repeated episode, and they said that I was their favorite guest, whether it was Celebrity Profile or Web Redemption.
Do
Over
you
a decade of being on TV, he said I was his favorite.
do
So
you
I'm
almost feel like
trying to.
you?
I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
sorry, I cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying I'm trying to get in with him on his Tosh YouTube podcast. He does interviews.
Cool, cool, cool. You should definitely do a follow up with him. Considering that's like the most replayed episode of Tosh, do you almost kind of feel like you were sort of the maker of Tosh, quote unquote?
No, not really. Just you know, the episode can also be viewed on Paramount streaming app, which kind of they owe me money because I signed off on rights royalties with Tosh.0 on Comedy Central. But actually going to Paramount, that's a whole different contract. But I'm not worried about it. I just like the publicity because every other day somebody's coming in saying, "Hey, I just seen you on Tosh," or "Wow, dude, this just reminded me about you," or "Wow, I just seen your Tosh episode again." So that's a good. It's all about like syndication and just years down the road. There's going to be so many things ShoeNice was on that they'll never die out.
Cool. I'm glad to hear your perspective on that. Let's see. Let's talk about the things you've eaten. What would you say was the most dangerous stunt that you did?
Probably the Everclear, but I threw it back up. I mean, I've eaten so much stuff that, I mean, most people would get sick, like bubble bath and Windex and, laundry detergent.
You are quite the outlier when it comes to being able to consume those kinds of things. I remember
Nothing
there was
like
one video you had to get your stomach pumped. Which liquor slam was that? I know it was liquor. I don't remember which one.
Devil Springs. It's
Devil
about a
Springs.
160 proof. But what happened is I passed out. My friends couldn't wake me up. So they got all scared. Now I'm down at the emergency room coming to. I'm like, you guys are paying for this hospital bill.
Like, fuck. I don't want to have to pay for this, dude.
Well, I'm actually a veteran, so I got free medical insurance for the rest of my life. So
That's good to hear.
I,
I was kind of concerned about that. As long as you
yeah,
made it
I
through.
don't know. I was just born with the stomach of a billy goat. The comedy of Chris Farley and the good looks of Channing Tatum. I'm the triple threat.
What was
That's
that thing you
probably
said in
why
that one video?
Hollywood is
You were flexing your bicep and you were like, I've got the body of a 25-year-old as a 55-year-old. Something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be having that when I knock out Steve Ladoon in 2025. Because some guy found out about it. And he's like, I'm going to do everything in my power to get this to happen in 2025. And now with Hollywood calling me, I got to go on a fast and drop a bunch of weight.
Oh
I'm not
boy.
too big, but I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be healthy, and because you never know what's gonna happen. I got to do some kind of an interview with them for one day,
Oh
and
lord.
I think it's just a setup, and then I'll be in their casting agent system, but I'm still getting paid. So
Now, you mentioned that you have to fast for this interview of sorts in Hollywood. How is that
yeah,
going to affect your current content production?
I'm not really doing anything right now. I'm waiting until I get my revenue back on YouTube, which will be in January. Because just I took somebody's thing, but it was from TikTok. It really wasn't YouTube. So
Did they strike you?
I think H3 reported me. So I had like some kind of a thing, but I beat it, and now I just gotta wait because I forgot to put my URL in with the appeal, and they make you wait like 2 months.
Right, it's forever.
I don't make much
Legal
money
junk.
on YouTube anymore. It's all about the cameo.
I mean, hey, if it works, is Cameo supporting you much better than the YouTube ad revenue?
Oh, without a doubt, YouTube and TikTok combined. I make really good money. I just sing happy birthday to people all day.
And it outdoes both by a landslide.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell the other guys once we're done with the interview that we need to hop on Cameo and start telling people happy birthday too. Oh
Well,
boy.
you got to have a little bit of a following, but I've gotten some people on there that have done really good.
Okay, so the liquor slamming, right? That was a thing that garnered a lot of attention in the later years of your channel.
Right.
Now, you've mentioned that you've sobered up, and that's a good thing. Did you ever have any intention of going back, and what's your overall opinion and reflection on that?
Oh, no, I can't drink anymore. But, yeah, I was slamming bottles since high school, it wasn't like I came into YouTube and then said, well, let me try this. And I really didn't even, have that in my whole, YouTube thing until a year later, actually. I was doing just fine without bringing that in. I think that kind of hurt my overall channel,
Do you think like it hurt your
negativity.
reputation and stuff?
and standing. No, not at all. Every time it didn't hurt my reputation. It just YouTube started changing, and then Logan Paul did that screw up, and Susan fired, like 2,000 YouTube channels in the following week or two, and I was one of them.
Right.
So yeah, I'd still be on here if Logan Paul never went to the Japanese forest and any others.
It is always an evolving landscape out there.
Yeah, it's one big circle, and everybody's gonna come back. I haven't lost my talents; it's just minus the liquor, and I've proven that I don't even need to eat or drink anything. I'm getting so many people on TikTok when I stream that just are like every other comment. I thought you died. Oh my God, I forgot about you, and it's just
That's
pick up.
that's actually really funny because I remember I was doing a bit of research and I realized that like around 2012, like what was it, hundreds of reports, like random people just saying, "Rip ShoeNice, ShoeNice died." Like, why did that happen? And why was it right around then?
I was just a hater, and you know what? The funny thing is, the author of that story, it's still up on Internet Chronicle, and I actually tweeted him, and know what he said to me in a tweet publicly? Oh, come on, it was just a joke. Aren't you supposed to be a comedian? I said, dude, you probably cost me about $1 million in projected revenue. I said 200,000 people walked away from my channel that day. And then I lost my main channel. So as the death story continued, people couldn't find me because I had, YouTube said here, there was an argument. You lost all your creations, but you can have AdSense on this smaller channel that you have because I had a backup. So they kind of were like apologizing. And so literally I got another chance, which nobody really gets,
No.
especially with Google AdSense. And I got like 200,000 subscriber plaques off of one channel. Nobody ever did that.
I was about to say, it's really weird that they took down your main channel, but you still had the second, and they just were like, okay, you can do stuff there. Really odd behavior.
They made me completely start over. I went from 650,000 subscribers, 700 videos, almost 200 million channel views, which is pretty big in 2018. And, they said here it was like 2,300 subscribers, a few videos, and that's the one I have now. I went on Snapchat and I just started spamming all these high schools, giving them fan signs like I did on Facebook. And now they're all in their mid-20s buying houses going, I understand your method of madness now. And with Facebook memories, everybody's getting that fan sign back 8, 9, 10 years later. Going, dude, I just got that picture, and I probably did over 500,000 fan signs, either handwritten or a digital one on Snapchat. So, yeah, I literally was out there, and nobody spams like me.
All right, here, let's move on to this segment here. Okay. I did read that in 2013, you set a Guinness World Record. Is that right?
Yes, but they removed that off of the Guinness World Records.
They did?
Yeah, they kind of took away a lot of dangerous acts during the woke period. So they.
That's so stupid. I mean, think about all the people that do, like, the dangerous stunts like skydiving or, like cave jumping, right? Those people get their records.
Yeah, but I don't know if they consider that professional. What I was doing was completely insane.
It is eating the most lit birthday cake candles.
Yeah, that's all right. I tried to go back in and beat it, and they said this record has been removed from the archives. Well, they went after and got a strike on everybody that had world record in their YouTube title. So they're just really, they're weird now.
If we got to get the woke media out of anything, it's definitely the Guinness Book of World Records. Like, come on.
Well, I know. A good friend of mine is the loudest female burper. She's always in my TikTok streams and stuff. And she just was in the Guinness Book of World Records. She got her picture in there. She was on Britain's Got Talent, burping Taylor Swift. She was on Spain's Got Talent. They gave her the golden buzzard. But somebody kind of just came in and said, we really don't want her in the championships. But Yeah,
She gets a gold
she.
buzzer at the same time. Like, I don't know.
But I'm just saying, Guinness is kind of changing. Different stunts, different people.
ShoeNice, we need to look towards the future. Set your eyes on the horizon. What's going to happen with the channel? What are you going to do? We did already kind of talk about that with Hollywood stuff, but are there any further developments for home development in terms of like your channel itself?
Nope, nothing on schedule. Just I'm gonna get my revenue back. Continue to stream TikTok. I'll be uploading videos, but there'll be like I'm just trying to figure out whether I'm just gonna eat, fast food. I mean, it's just gonna be family friendly. There's no more glue, no more eating tampons or toilet paper or cactus or there's really no more eating anything. But if I do come back on YouTube, it'll probably be as a streamer, and there probably won't be uploads. And I'm just going to build up my live streams every day to 1,000 people watching instead of 100. But they just unshadow banned me. I can tell because I couldn't get 8, 9 people in there. Now it's over 100 mostly.
Well, it sounds like you're turning a new leaf. I mean, hopefully this is prosperous for you.
Yeah, you got. I was a drunk troll, angry at the world for a while. And that was help with whatever. But the death story and losing my main channel, they were the two things that came together in 1 year that really just, that's why I laugh at people that have to start over because I know how it is. Like Boozy too, that dude is loony, man.
Does it feel, considering what you're looking at, you going into Hollywood and changing your content as a whole, do you feel like you're going to miss, making the old ShoeNice content same as always?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna throw up a crazy eating video probably once a week or two, if not just once a month, and it'll just be something that everybody can do, whether it's speed or just raw stuff. And everybody always likes the raw steaks, and yeah, there's a whole new generation of people coming on YouTube and the web, and you know, they just they haven't seen me yet. So, I mean, really, the channel I have right now has plenty of videos for people to view, and then they're going to find all the other videos that were stolen by 1,000 thieves. That'll keep me alive long after I'm dead, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you can't really get to the end of all the videos with ShoeNice as, a noun in the title of the video.
I mean, with
And
how
that's
old, like, your channel is and your legacy, like, it's, you and YouTube are one and the same, really. Like, you're just embedded in it. No one's gonna forget you for a while. But to kind of wrap this up, I have one final kind of silly question. Now, I remember you making a video a while back where you took a shoe, right? You took a shoe and you tried to eat it, and then you said, "Nah, that's just for the thumbnail." And then you took a piece of toilet paper that had a picture of a shoe, sharpied onto it, and then you ate that. Do you think it'd actually be possible for you to eat a shoe at some point?
Only way is if you shredded it down, I wouldn't use your average electric mixer in your kitchen, but textiles, any kind of like eating a piece of a shirt or whatever woven stuff, it's almost impossible to swallow and you can get your system clogged up. So anything on a sneaker, from the suede, the canvas, the rubber plastic sole, I mean, it's really all unedible unless it's cut down. I could sit there and chew on the sole of a shoe forever.
Right. I mean, that's why they, when you eat well done steak, it's called, the rubber sole of a boot, because you're chewing on it forever. You're gonna be doing the exact same thing.
I would like to give a shout out. I'm hoping that humanity can come together someday. If we can go to Mars, we can solve world hunger on this planet so everybody can go to bed without an empty stomach.
Hear
It's a real
Hear it, everyone? ShoeNice is going to solve world hunger. Just give him some time. He's going to make it happen, all right?
I think 2035, that's when Bill Gates says it'll happen. So maybe with him and Elon Musk and all the richest people in the world coming together to work in our government, things can be solved.
Absolutely. All right, well, I think that's all the questions I had for you, ShoeNice. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here on the podcast.
Yeah, man, I'll stop back and say hi sometime. I appreciate everything, and yeah.
That was a fantastic interview, wasn't it?
Honestly,
No.
that was great.
What are you
I
talking
couldn't
about,
hear-
Spence?
I couldn't hear 3/4 of it.
Look, okay. ShoeNice has used the same trusty Apple wired earbuds and or knockoffs since his inception,
Oh.
pretty much. You know those clickety-clackety little percussion
Yeah.
like headphones that like, you know, some of the Spanish kids play Fortnite with
Yeah.
on like the plastic patio chairs? Those are the same earbuds and microphone that ShoeNice uses for all of his videos.
Huh.
Consistently.
So the bad audio is part of his branding.
so
Pretty
that-
much.
so
that's just
that's
the
his
ShoeNice thing, dude.
That's his thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I gotta say, I think it's really funny that he's apparently been eating things he shouldn't since he was 4 years old.
Honestly, I'm surprised that he ate unfiltered cigarettes. That leaves a lot of questions, though. Like,
Doesn't-
at 4 years old, how did he access unfiltered cigarettes?
That's not the question I was wondering. It's like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but tobacco, when mixed with water, doesn't that create arsenic?
I don't think so. Otherwise, chewing tobacco wouldn't work.
Listen, calm down,
That's why
Walter
people
White.
spit it out, though.
Well, your saliva's mostly water, so if there was arsenic in your mouth, it'd be bad. Also, you're always swallowing some of it anyway. You can't get rid of all of it. I've talked to people who chew
Well, yeah,
extensively.
but things are deadly to you in certain quantities.
Yeah, the dosage
don't-
makes the medicine.
All right, so about ShoeNice, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think overall of the interview?
Honestly,
I mean, outside of the mic. you know.
honestly, he seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, he
Is
seems chill as hell.
Yeah, is he
He's
actually
chill like
going
that.
into Hollywood?
From what he said, yes. I don't have any specific like evidence to back it up, but you know, I'm taking his word on it. And
I'll believe.
it seems
ShoeNice.
like something he's both been talking about, like in his more recent videos, as well as something he mentioned on the podcast. And I don't know. It's like if you were to lie about that, what kind of benefit does it really bring? You know?
I'm not doubting him at all. Honestly, I just was curious.
It'd be really exciting to see him kind of fulfill that sort of. Well, he's supposed to fill out a Hollywood role, so it's not even the stand-up comedy he was talking about initially doing.
Right.
Though.
He's gonna be in the next Avengers movie.
That would go kind of hard. Who's he playing though?
But it has to be from
Iron Man
what,
2.
no.
This time he eats the fucking armor.
No, but what's
Venom.
What are they?
He's the voice of Venom.
He's
The
fucking
voice of
Venom. Could ShoeNice eat the Venom symbiote, like the sticky stuff?
I don't know if he would.
Eat
I
the
think he
actual
could,
symbiote?
but I think they
That
like
is the question. Could he?
vibe.
I'm not saying, like, ShoeNice wouldn't
you-
drink alcohol anymore, but he certainly could slam another bottle of Everclear.
That
Do
would
you
be
mean
terrible.
That would be. Stay sober, ShoeNice.
Stay sober. That was actually really heartening to hear.
Yeah, like
I'm-
he's
I'm
trying
glad
to
he's
turn
on the
that shit
upturn.
around. Yeah, I'm really happy for him about that. You know?
Sorry, Spence, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just wondering, so back to your Venom symbiote. So by eating it, do you mean like eating it and not having the symbiote a part of him?
Yeah, just like trying to digest it, like eating an animal.
Trying to digest the symbiote.
Yes, bro has digested like.
Honestly, I think
textiles and
ShoeNice's
fabrics.
I think his power
No, you're
level.
saying that he shouldn't eat fabrics because they're hard to digest and it's hard to swallow.
Yes, but he's done it. He shouldn't drink the Everclear
And also, speaking
because
of which,
it's
that
bad
was
for his liver.
that
but he
was
did it.
something else that you pointed out during the interview. Well, not in the interview, but while we were listening to it, that it's such an in-depth analysis about eating an actual shoe.
It is kind of crazy. You could like I only asked the one instance or example because you know I wanted to wrap up the interview. But really, I'm sure if we did a follow-up and we just wanted to ask him for half an hour about the probability of eating certain various objects, he could probably provide a detailed like answer for every single one.
Wow.
Like
So he
he
has
did
a
not need to over-accomplish like that.
so he has a professional opinion about like eating different household objects.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Some wacky stuff. Anything else to touch on for you guys? Again, I'm the one that did the interview, so I'm just trying to get your guys' feedback.
Yeah, it seemed like very positive. I'm honestly shocked he was willing to like talk to you and like come on the podcast and all that.
He was pretty
That
chill.
was really
like that.
cool.
Yeah.
He did also say we'll do a follow-up, maybe, potentially. We'll see. But
when,
for now,
when he blows up and acts like
he don't know nobody. I think if ShoeNice goes back to the habits of like eating bizarre foods, he should get the shark teeth to increase his eating efficiency. Like, think about how well he'd actually be able to handle a shoe.
Listen, ShoeNice's power level is probably like just below Saitama's, so I don't want to increase it.
Okay, we're making a very broad... Why is he almost as strong as Saitama?
Because he broke his limiters. Only can eat his shoe.
He broke his fucking limiters on his stomach and liver, okay? The rest of it is just a normal...
Hear me out. So, you remember in Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? When during the last battle when Ozai breaks his back against the stone?
Uh-huh.
When ShoeNice fell and broke his back, that was when he broke his limiter.
Since that moment, he's been able to do anything he wants.
Truly.
Truly, he's
Like
been
eating
shoes.
anything.
Yeah.
Or not shoes, eating just random things. But that moment, that was the flashpoint in when he becomes a superhero.
That's why ShoeNice beats the Venom symbiote.
He would eat the symbiote, and he would shit out the symbiote, because the symbiote ain't shit against ShoeNice.
Damn.
What if you wanted to go to heaven, but ShoeNice said, ShoeNice, and you just died?
And then your soul was instantly devoured. Now, keep all of this in mind, that he is currently 55, I believe? 56? He was born July 30th, 1987.
Wow.
So he is, as of recording, number... Trust me, I know how to count.
I think you said 55 or 56. Like 10 seconds ago.
I did, but
Wait.
I'm mathing it out from 1987.
Wait, I just realized something.
I'm trying to figure out his prime.
There's someone
because
canonically
think
older
about
than
if
me.
he was... There ain't no way, dude.
There's no way.
There's someone older than me.
ShoeNice sounds
It's
younger.
actually possible.
It is.
That is impossible.
Well, you know.
I mapped that out wrong. I'm a dummy. Though he said he's 55. He was born in 1987, which would make him 38. 37, my bad.
Huh?
What?
He was born 1987. That would make him current year 37.
Yeah.
Huh.
Math checks out.
Damn.
Which seems odd.
I feel like he's probably being honest about his age. Maybe you got the dates mixed up?
Maybe. I pulled from a bunch of different sources for my information.
That's cool. Why don't you back it up with a source? My source is I made it the fuck up.
I wonder what his canonical birth year and age
Let
is.
me just double check that.
It's kind of like the phoenix. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It has no beginning. It's just a circle.
We have always had ShoeNice.
He was born from the shoe.
I put down the wrong age.
Oh.
Or sorry, the wrong birth date.
Okay.
My bad. No, it's 1969.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
ShoeNice was born in
Nice.
1969.
ShoeNice.
Sex man.
ShoeNice was born nice.
He was literally born nice.
Where did the shoe come from?
Well, okay, to explain his name. His full name, is Christopher Shue. Schewe. I know it's a really fucking weird last name, but his last name is Shue, and he's a nice guy. Hence the name.
And he was born in nice.
Yeah. Dude, ShoeNice.
ShoeNice.
I didn't think about that extra layer being
Wait,
born
what-
in 69.
What part of the year was he born in? Was it in the summer of '69?
It was May 30th.
Aw.
Oh, just before the summer of '69.
That means
Oh.
he lived through it, though.
Dude.
What I'm saying is, he's on the older side. Imagine what he could do in his prime.
Well, you're on the older side.
Shut the fuck up, you ancient ass man.
That's an old man cackle if I've ever heard
You
one.
dapped up cavemen back in your day.
Dude, you graduated high
Yeah.
school with Joe Biden.
It was a small class.
Dude, you ate the last dodo bird.
It was good too, bitch.
Instead of Quidditch, you played some hanky-jank sport where you raised raptors and chased turkey around.
What?
This is a lot of Spence lore we're going to discuss in the Spence episode.
Spence episode.
ShoeNice.
ShoeNice.
Yes.
ShoeNice. Would you like a little bit of background on his origins?
Yeah.
I
Yes,
could
I
run you
would.
through the ringer for a little bit.
I would love to hear more about the origins.
Indeed. ShoeNice grew up with his two brothers and his mom after a divorce. His mom was a chronic alcoholic, and this led to Shuey, or ShoeNice. I'm going to refer to him as Shoe since we're going through his origin story. And his brothers being kind of miscreants, minor vandals even, trashing apartments and vandalizing private property, while also being neglected by a mother who was passed out drunk on regular occasion, which sounds kind of harsh, but this is the stuff he pointed out on his Vice interview.
Oh, he talked about this on his interview?
Legitimately, yes.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Give that a listen, by the way. It's like a 35-minute interview. It's really good. Really good. This was I don't know. It was kind of his midpoint where he hadn't quite hit 1 million, like, subs on his first channel, but he was, like, gaining popularity. Like, I think... I'm trying to remember. It was a span of 2 months where he went from, like, 200,000 to 1 million. You know how, like, people get that rapid success, like, off of 1 or 2 videos just quickly?
Mm-hmm. That
essentially happened, and in that time, ShoeNice got an interview with Vice, and...
What were those 1 or 2 videos?
It kind of depends, because one of them was influenced a lot by a thing I'm going to go over later in my notes. But the other was definitely his first alcohol slam.
Which one was his first alcohol slam?
I don't remember specifically. I don't have it noted down here. But that's what kicked off a major part of his following because, as it turns out, there's a lot of alcoholics on YouTube.
But it wasn't that Everclear one that he had?
No.
Or
Because Everclear one's very popular, but that's the one that caused him the most damage.
Well, yeah,
It was certainly the most damage control after an episode. Surprisingly enough, he doesn't really have to do that much. He just kind of eats the thing and he goes on about his day. Sometimes he'll do multiple in a row, depending on the content. Like, if he's eating something like a glue or a liquid, he'll just kind of record more after that. It's only like the alcohol that he couldn't keep posting and posting and posting, and he'd still try to because that made him the most money. Because he was getting, like, sponsor deals, like small-time sponsor deals, when he was slamming alcohol.
Out of curiosity, who was sponsoring this poor veteran's alcoholism?
Please tell me it was the alcohol company.
Yes, big alcohol.
Big alcohol.
To be fair,
like Alcoholics Anonymous puts a sponsorship ad right before he slams a bottle of Everclear.
That would be fucking hilarious, dude.
The slam of the bottom
Or
of
like,
the bin whiskey is brought to you by Alcoholics Anonymous.
This entire bottle of vodka was sponsored by Rage Shadow Legend.
Anyways,
Remember to get a pair of Raycon headphones. Oh, and by the way,
God.
we're not sponsored.
Oh yeah, we're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored by anyone.
Well,
No sponsors yet.
yeah.
Please give us your money.
I'm going to
We'll
continue. He had, during this time, during the time that his mother was drinking and passing out, started eating weird things because he was kind of being pseudo-neglected. And he just kind of had free reign to do whatever. He started eating weird things and experimenting at the young age of 8.
What about the cigarettes he ate when he was 4?
It could either be an exaggeration or it could have started way sooner. The sources I read off of mentioned he started doing it as early as 8.
Okay.
Which mentions a small collection of things like pebbles, grass, glue, and specifically cooking ingredients out of home ec classes. So, like, people would be working on their home ec projects, making, like, French toast or something, like basic stuff at home. And they wouldn't be able to finish the projects, or at least, group of kids that had ShoeNice in their group, because he'd eat all the damn ingredients.
So what you're saying is he did the cinnamon challenge before it was popular.
He did the cinnamon challenge, except he just ate the fucking spoon with it and still didn't cough up anything. And kids would look at him like, oh, poggers.
So, Trevor, this just sounds like sharing a home ec class with you. I could imagine, like, making a whole thing of pancake batter, walking away for 2 seconds to wash my hands before frying it up, coming back, it's just, like, drenched down your shirt. And it's like, where did all the pancake batter?
There's
and
just a
look at
comic
me
shoe
and go,
out of the
thirsty.
bowl.
Okay, I'm going to share a story from ag class, right?
Oh, no.
Ag?
Yeah, agriculture. I don't know why we were doing weird home ec stuff in ag class, but stay with me, okay? Let me cook. So, I was doing this project with one other individual I will not be naming. And we, for some reason, I don't remember what the project was about, but I do remember we had Nesquik chocolate syrup, like the powder stuff for the chocolate syrup, as well as the lemonade mixes, the pink and classic.
Wait, they make ones for chocolate syrup and not just like the chocolate milk?
I mean, well, like the milk. It's the dry powder stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Like powder creamer.
Okay.
So, instead of, using it for the project or hell, just mixing it with a glass of milk, we did a really funny thing and we snorted it because we thought it'd be funny. And then I spent my study hall bleeding chocolate out of my nose.
That was a terrible plan.
That's amazing.
I felt horrible that day. There
felt-
might still be chocolate in my brain.
That
You
would
felt like
explain
that
a lot.
rabbit. But for one day,
It's okay. The other guy sniffed the lemonade powder, so
Oh, that's
that might be
worse. That's even worse.
he's got lemons in his brain.
Sometimes he sneezes too hard and it tastes like summer.
Imagine you sneeze and you pucker your lip because it's sour. But yeah, that's the story I wanted to share.
Okay, so ShoeNice would just interrupt his class by just eating important ingredients.
I wouldn't say interrupt the whole class, but he'd be a hindrance to his group.
Okay.
They couldn't complete their assignments.
I mean, and anyone who's been a young guy out there has known that that's just funny.
It is funny.
Oh, it
that's
is,
never gonna
absolutely.
not
that's why
be
he
funny.
did it. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
It's just, the difference between, if I did it and he did it, I would get sick a third of the way through. He would eat all of it and then be asking for more.
he hung
So, he is on a whole different tier, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
I am ranked bronze. He is ranked diamond,
Triple master.
triple ultra master. Yeah.
Higher than Saitama tier.
So, one thing to note in addition to the eating habits, the alcoholic habits of his mother passed on to him. I mean, it's quite agreed on that it's a hereditary thing most of the time, and that, if your parent is an alcoholic, there's a pretty high chance that you become one as well. Not to concern anyone out there. It's mainly choice. But he started drinking alcohol as early as the 8th grade.
Hot damn.
I don't know if he was doing liquor slams like he does on his YouTube videos around that time, but he was drinking alcohol as early as late middle school.
I mean, if you come home to that, it's kind of not expected, but definitely more likely.
If anything, it could have really happened sooner, and I'd believe it. I mean, you're exposed to that kind of thing. There's a lot of kids that, when they are to such a heavy degree, they start even earlier. So that part's not too surprising.
70s were a hell of a time.
Would he have been in the 8th
ShoeNice.
grade during the 70s?
He would have been, let's see,
That would have been the 80s.
that would have been like 70. No,
Would have been
that would have been 83.
the high 70s.
83
low
is when
80s.
he's 14,
Yes.
so that's 9th grade.
So it'd be
Okay,
82.
so 82.
Okay,
Okay.
so the 80s
Depend.
were a hell of a time.
The 80s were a hell of a time.
I'd like to also point out that he actually didn't make it all the way through school.
Oh,
So he was drinking as early as 8th grade, but he never finished up to 12th. He actually asked his father, which he lived with at the time. He had managed to move out of his mother's due to, bad living habits. And he managed to convince his father, both and mother, to let him drop out of school on one simple fact. If he joined the military.
oh.
And that's how he got involved in Desert Storm and stuff.
How old was he?
Did he lie about his age?
No. He got deployed in Kuwait in 1991.
Okay.
He worked in the food supply chain. So, basically, he would move... I mean, it's food supply chain.
Right.
We're talking about, convoys moving rations out to soldiers so they don't, starve and die.
Which is
Ironic.
on brand for ShoeNice.
I mean, yeah, it's ShoeNice. Of course, the guy that devours everything is moving food for soldiers. You ever think he, got a convoy there and it's just empty? And he's like... he's got, a mysteriously ration-shaped stomach. Just, I don't really want it.
I don't think so, but it's funny to imagine.
No, they
Cartoon ShoeNice, definitely.
I imagine he boosted morale by doing liquor slam.
Probably.
It's probably where his liquor slams started.
I mean, a lot of vets will tell you that they drank a lot in the military, but usually not on duty.
Oh no, you can't.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah,
understand
you're
it
not
correctly.
allowed to.
Yeah, none of us have served, so it's hard.
Not
to
in
know.
recent times, at least. In, the World Wars, it was kind of looked upon as an okay thing.
Yeah,
but,
the Navy still gets a beer a day.
nowadays...
Well, I think they had their last one, and it was a big deal. They celebrated it, but they used to just get a beer a day as part of their
daily
food ration.
Yeah. It used to be a thing where, you'd carry, like, a small bottle of even, like, hard liquor into, like, trenches with you and shit. And it was a way to, like, remedy trench foot and stuff. I don't know how much that really helps. If anything, it probably does bad.
The remedy trench foot, what, do you just pour the bottle down your boot?
No, you just drink it so you don't feel it.
The way hard liquor works with things like trench foot and frostbite, because I actually looked into this, is it doesn't.
1 billion IQ.
It just makes you happy enough that you don't care how much your feet hurt.
You just drink it and then get drunk so you can cope a little bit longer.
So what you're saying is that head baker who survived off the Titanic didn't actually survive because of the liquor?
He might have, but it's not because it, like, boosted his body temp or some shit. It's just because he was drunk, and that made him, like, less prone to fall into shock and things like that.
Mm-hmm. But something I should bring up. This is where that ravioli story comes in. The one where he brings out some ravioli rations to these children out in Kuwait. To, like, save them, and that sort of sparks his idea for saving world hunger. That actually came from the food supply chain. And when we did the interview, as you may have listened earlier, he actually contradicts this point. He says that it hadn't happened when, in the Vice interview, he tells the story in full detail. So, he might have backpedaled on that, but either way, he still did some honorable stuff in his service.
Yeah, thank you for your service, ShoeNice.
Unfortunately, we also have to talk about the bad, which he's also stated in a video. There was an incident where he accidentally ran over a soldier.
I swear he came out of nowhere. I didn't see him.
Now, from what he says in the video, he responds like a normal, person who accidentally hits someone would, and he was like panicking and stuff. And it's also mentioned he wasn't the first one to hit him. He was the second one in convoy to hit him. So that soldier got ran over by one like Jeep or Hummer or whatever, and then ShoeNice ran him over.
At that point, it's barely ShoeNice's fault. Like, if someone doesn't swerve, then like,
it's like, how is he supposed to know? Also, they do tail each other pretty close to
they do
cover each other, 5 feet maybe at most.
That's kind of funny, but also very, very sad.
It took me off guard. It's not funny, but I was not expecting that.
In the way 9/11 jokes are funny, it's a little funny.
So anyways, he makes a bunch of calls and he gets really nervous. He leaves the army shortly after that. He could have left earlier with a Purple Heart, actually, because he spoke in a video about how he got an injury hitting his head on a truck, ironically enough. I don't know if ShoeNice and trucks in the army go together very well, thinking about it.
I don't think it's a ShoeNice specific problem. I bet convoys were just really unsafe in general.
Honestly, like, looking back on it, they need to put some of those, like, foam corners on so they don't fucking murder people with them.
I feel like that would kind of take away from the intimidation factor of convoys just a little bit.
Imagine
there's just like a bunch of pool noodles.
Yeah, imagine you're going through the fucking desert and, like, say you're on the opposite side of, America, and you're spying on them, and you just see these orange pool noodles on the side of their fucking beds. Like the bed rails, that'd be crazy, dude. Anyways, let's continue. When he came back to the States, I didn't really find a specific time on when he came back, but obviously it was sometime before 2008, because that's when he originally started his YouTube channel. He worked as a roofer, and he does mention that again in the interview, where he went back and forth, and that's how he met a lot of people, and he started gaining popularity both as a stand-up comedian and his obvious food eating habits. Roofers, they move a lot. They move around a lot because they have to fill jobs, and sometimes they're across the states.
That's also how he broke his back.
Yeah. God, ShoeNice has injured himself a lot over the years.
Honestly, he's had a rough time of it.
No, I feel bad for the guy. But anyways, he works as a roofer for a while, and most of it's under his dad's company, I believe. Either it's his dad's company or it's the company his dad works with. But eventually, he goes through a bit of a spiel with opioid addiction, and that ends up getting him kicked out of it. He's spoken about this as well, so we're not throwing any muddy water towards him, That got him kicked out of that. fast forward to 2008, his 8-year-old son is showing him about YouTube. You know, the guy's married. There's a bit of a span of time that we don't really have a lot of data on because there's no government track records keeping, you know, track of him, and he worked for a lot of local businesses. So, you know, it's not like he was working for a big company like, say, I don't know, Tesla or whatever. You know, there's a steady track record to, you know, hold on to.
Honestly, if ShoeNice had record of working at Tesla in the year 2000...
that would go crazy because it didn't exist.
Exactly.
We'll say like Ford, okay? We'll say
Okay,
Ford company.
We'll say Ford.
He didn't work for a big company like that, so it's hard to get a lot of data on that. But in 2008, you know, he's got a wife. His 8-year-old son is watching YouTube. He shows YouTube to ShoeNice, or Shoe, and he shows him how to make a YouTube channel. Shoe uploads his first video, talks for a bit. The channel sits dead for about 2 years. Doesn't do anything with it, oddly enough. And then finally, in 2010, he starts just uploading videos. Weird videos of him eating the stuff that we know about. Exactly.
The SpongeBob stickers.
Well, SpongeBob stickers come later. That's the homeless arc.
The arc.
I'm sorry. He was homeless?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his YouTube channel was created on June 14th of 2010. Well, more like his first actual video was created then.
Okay.
Really, initially, he was doing the food mixed with a bunch of his comedy. It was a lot of, like, practice for what he does outside of his roofing.
I remember in high school, you showed me a thumbnail where he was painted to look like Marge Simpson, I think.
Mm-hmm. This is something I forgot to ask him in the interview, and it's something really curious, especially in the later half of his career. He dressed up and painted himself to look a lot like different fictional characters. Anything from Marge Simpson to, let's see, there's Custom Grow 420. It's this random, like, cannabis smoking channel. And it's got this dude that's got a really fucking weird looking beard. He's got, like, that flat bill hat on, and he's got these, like, black curly locks that come down. So he scribbled a bunch of Sharpie down his head, and he put on, like, this big bushy black eyebrows. And he's like, "Hey guys, what up? Custom Grow 420 here." And obviously, you know, Marge Simpson, the classic, you know. Anyways. His first viral video was him just eating a bottle of glue. It was wood glue.
Oh.
Okay. Which, funnily enough, is also the video that they star on Tosh.0, which we're going to get to later.
Him eating wood glue?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Wood glue.
As opposed to just, like, Elmer's glue or glitter glue.
He does Elmer's glue.
Or glue sticks.
I remember there's a video where he does like 6 Elmer glue bottles in a row, and the video's like 4 minutes long.
I'm sorry.
Just absolutely glugging that shit down. Apparently, it's pretty easy for him to get down. It's like drinking any other fluid, which is weird.
I don't like that.
You know? That second instance of him gaining popularity, the videos that blew up. In reality, it was a video he didn't even make.
Oh.
So, in 2011, he actually did a sort of stunt that was originally to sort of defend a tradition at the university he was going to at the time. They had this sort of tradition called Fountain Day, and basically they had a fountain outside of the university, and it was supposed to celebrate a tradition where, like, it was just to celebrate the fountain. Something about it being created by an ancient Greek artist. And they were going to remove that tradition and all the ceremony stuff that they did with it. So he chained himself to the fountain, and he said he was going to stay there for 3 days with no food.
How'd that work out?
Well, originally, a bunch of interviewers went up to him and, like, asked him about it. And he was originally just talking about how he was, you know, just retaliating against the committee for trying to shut the event down. And then eventually it turned into this sort of promotion thing where, I mean, he saw the cameras and he was like, you know what? I can do this. I might as well get my stuff out there. And he started going through his own autobiography, much like kind of what we're doing right now, except it's obviously him.
Right.
After this event, he just surges in popularity, okay? This is when he reaches around 1 million subs. And this, again, is around the same time that they do the Vice interview, which is, I mean, outside of the Tosh.0 episode, is like one of the biggest showcases of ShoeNice's identity and what he is, what he does.
So we need to chain you to a fountain.
Are we chaining ourselves to fountains and then talking about the
No, we're just
complimentary
going to
media
chain
podcast?
you.
Why? Why does it have to be me?
Because.
That's not epic.
Spence and I would be very chill about it, and I feel like you'd go insane during hour 2.
Hour 2? No.
What do you mean?
5
What do you mean?
minutes.
What do you mean by that?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
What do you mean by that?
Trevor, Spence is an old man,
Well, yeah, duh.
and I read. You, brain rot.
Not all brain rot. Okay.
At least 50%.
Look, I'm Skibbity with the Rizzlers, and I'm always Sigma in Ohio.
Those who know. Anyway.
Yeah, Stillwater.
Anyway, you would just, like, go completely autistic. And if there's a news recorder and you're going autistic while you're shouting out our social media, it might do something, you know?
Let's move on. In addition to appearing on Tosh.0 with a full dedicated episode, which apparently he knows Tosh pretty well. As stated in the interview, they're like kind of close friends. I haven't gotten an interview with Tosh. I know, kind of sucks to confirm that, but I'll take his word for it and assume that like he's meeting up again with him in Hollywood, and perhaps we'll hear more about that sort of collaboration.
So I actually don't know Tosh at all. Like, the first time I heard about it was ShoeNice talking about it in the interview.
I know. I remember watching the Tosh.0 TV show.
Yeah, Tosh.0 was sort of like, how do I put it? It was like the pioneer to YouTube reaction comedy channels.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like, think of it, but on cable, okay? That's what Tosh.0 essentially is.
Okay.
Think of like Ridiculousness TV, but, you know, for adults.
Wasn't it on MTV?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
It's on a few other channels, too. I think it was on True TV as well, which
Was it?
he was also on World's Dumbest, which was a True TV native
Wait,
series.
Who? Tosh?
No, ShoeNice.
ShoeNice was on True TV.
ShoeNice was on both World's Dumbest and Tosh.0. But Tosh.0 was
hold on,
way more popular of a TV show.
What was he on World's Dumbest for?
I don't know. Some random category. I just remember him just showing up. It was a blip, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a whole episode like he got on Tosh.
Okay.
So he was just like there, and I thought it would just be interesting to note that, you know, Tosh isn't his only showing on cable. Keep that in mind, cable for YouTube stars. It's kind of hard to clear that bar.
That is really weird, because, like, you know, you think about the big subscribe to channels, right? Like PewDiePie and Mr. Beast represent, like, two different sort of categories of very popular YouTuber.
Yeah.
And I know PewDiePie never made it onto cable. I think he did, like, one talk show interview once, and they kind of made fun of him because he played video games.
Yeah.
And then, does Mr. Beast end up on cable?
No. No. Well, keep
What?
in mind, his inception, like, in terms of popularity, happened much more recent than PewDiePie. Like, no one's watching cable really anymore. Everything's on demand.
That's fair. It's just kind of weird, because, like, a lot of very big YouTubers don't make it on TV even once, and ShoeNice is just there.
ShoeNice was there. So,
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is a very odd and yet interesting reason he was there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of these YouTubers, a lot of what they do, this is not flack in any way, but it's kind of a dime a dozen. Like, there's almost like, you can say any topic and there's at least 20 different YouTubers for it. How many of those topics are eating things that you probably shouldn't?
I think it's just how unique of a situation ShoeNice finds himself in, because you don't see people just pulling that off.
Yeah, like, Trevor, there's probably a ton of attempted ShoeNice clones that have, like, maybe 100 subs, right?
Maybe, but it's way easier to try and rip what PewDiePie did, or, you know, what Markiplier did, or whatever the gaming channels did, or say, you know, like the just chatting content, like on Twitch, right? Way easier to replicate that
Well, if
than
you
try to
don't have
replicate
kids.
ShoeNice. Well, okay, listen,
And that's also
that's a
something else,
different
too.
discussion.
I
That's
mean,
also
you
some-
were the one who brought up just chatting. That whole subgenre is just women.
But you see a bunch of other male popular Twitch streamers in there. Queso basically does just chatting anymore at this point.
Does he really? I thought he got his popularity gaming.
I mean, kind of, but at this point, he does a lot of just chatting stuff. So, like, I visited a couple of his streams. He will just sit there sometimes with OBS displaying the Twitch feed and then his cam in the corner.
Okay, you're the one who brought this up, so I want the record to show that. But could ShoeNice eat queso?
No. Wait.
I'm gonna say yes.
No, Nokia versus Chuck Norris. That's the situation we're in.
I feel like Chuck Norris eventually beats a Nokia, but after much toil.
Absolutely, dude. Look. I don't know if ShoeNice could eat queso. How much prep time does he have? ShoeNice is like Batman, okay? How much prep time does he have to eat queso?
Let's say he has infinite prep time.
He's eating queso.
Okay.
This is so super simple. You know how you eat queso?
No.
With tortilla chips.
All right, back on the rails.
That's absolutely hilarious. Now, we've already kind of talked about the health hazards he's encountered. A lot of people get concerned about this. As stated in the interview, a lot of people thought he died. Literally. And I don't know if that's more of a contributor to the downfall of his original channel than some of the controversies he got himself in, which we're not going to bring really any of them up because a lot of them don't have enough evidence for us to settle on. I don't really want to bring anything up that doesn't have documents actually representing it or ShoeNice himself saying it because that feels disingenuous.
Also, if there was anything actually going on, I'm sure lawyers and legal struggles would get in on it. And, like, the guy seems nice enough. He came on our tiny little show and was willing to, like, talk to you, Trev. So I really don't want to dredge up a bunch of drama from ages past.
No. But drama did initially sink his first channel. Regardless, we have to face that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, in addition to people posting and baiting about him dying, that essentially robbed him of a third of his following. He dropped 200,000 subs, like he said. And then his channel got deleted in late 2017.
How did his channel get deleted?
We're going to put it as he made a sort of risque post on Twitter. He made a joke, and a lot of people didn't like it. So YouTube hit that channel with the ban hammer. But oddly enough, it feels sort of biased. Like he had stated, since YouTube let him bring up the second channel, and that second channel has already gained 200,000 subs and has yet to be removed, even though it has plenty of old re-uploads. So it's essentially just the old channel. Nothing's changed. YouTube struck him down, and now he has to rebuild his career. And it's not like they're keeping him back. They just shot him down.
That's very weird. I didn't know YouTube banned for off-platform activity. Like, is that normal YouTube behavior? Has anyone else faced that?
That's happened from time to time, but considering this was in, like, 2017,
All right.
It does feel kind of weird.
And keep in mind, myself, and I'm sure the listeners at home, unless they're ShoeNice aficionados here to, like, catch up on more interviews with them, I'm sure they're, like, wondering what the joke was, or, like, what the genre of the joke was.
You can do your own research. We're not trying to throw any shade right now. We're just doing a biography of sorts.
Fair enough. I just didn't know.
We do fully support you do your own research.
And take your own opinions.
Make your own opinions.
At the end of the day, ShoeNice is also a person at the end of the screen. We don't know every single little fact about him. So we are on the internet, baby.
Yar, the internet be a cruel mistress.
Yar, har, har. Hacker man.
I think it's important that we bring up the fallout of his sort of channel deletion. ShoeNice found himself homeless for a while, and this is where he got himself into a lot of controversies, as well as some of his absolutely most off-the-rails wild videos ever.
So this is the homeless arc.
This is the homeless arc, yes.
Okay. I'm caught up on the ShoeNice anime so far. What's the homeless arc like?
Okay, the homeless arc is essentially him going in and out of friends' places and trying to pay them with the little bit of money he can get back from his early time regrowing his second channel. And at the same time, he is getting plastered every night because he's getting paid to do it, and he's getting sent free bottles where he can. So he's already drinking, but he's homeless, and he has barely enough income to feed this habit. So for the next 2-3 years, we see ShoeNice in this just horrible cycle where he's drinking, and then he'll stream himself homeless out on the streets in a puffy coat, screaming at people on stream. about not caring about him or about a bunch of other world issues. And, I mean, to be fair, that's not exactly a good thing, but I can kind of see why.
So, I think it's very fascinating, because generally when you talk about people who blow up online, they blow up at their best, you know? At their, like, peak, right?
Yes.
Like, if you think about every YouTube channel that has gotten millions of subs, you think about what caused them to blow up and why, and it's usually they found something they were passionate about and they had a lot of fun with, and they just ran with it. And that's generally what causes YouTube channels to blow up, is kind of these people at the happiest and most passionate moments of their lives just become part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
There are hundreds of examples. There are old and new examples. But what's interesting and fascinating to me about ShoeNice is he kind of, like, after his first channel got deleted, he sort of blew up at his lowest point. I don't know if he'd contest this at all, but I have talked to many people who were homeless for some time, and they always describe being homeless as the lowest point they've had in life, right? Mm-hmm. And it's weird that he got so popular when he was at what is, like, essentially probably his rock bottom.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, he gained a lot of notoriety at the same time. Like, he did say a lot of really unhinged things on stream. And to be fair, like, he was drunk and belligerent at the time. But he was also going through a really tough phase, too.
Yeah, also,
like,
the internet bought him alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a shitty thing to do, send in alcoholic bottles.
Between feeding an alcoholic's addiction and then seeing them kicked onto the streets because YouTube deleted their channel. That's so, like, violent.
Obviously.
I'm not surprised he lashed out. He just didn't know who to lash out to, and it ended up being his audience, which didn't help. It's weird, because his videos were very popular, but the lashback was very negative.
Right, but, like, it's weird, too, because, like, I'm sure he made his own decisions, and he probably takes some responsibility for that, but it's hard not to look at that as kind of, like, he was just a victim of the internet for that, like, length of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know anything about the guy except for what you've told me about him, the interview you did with him that I listened to a few times, and what we've talked about so far on the podcast. But, like, he's a veteran. He had a huge YouTube channel that was his living. It got deleted from the internet, and then suddenly people are buying this alcoholic free bottles of alcohol while egging him on live. It's hard not to look at that and think that he's kind of, like, being picked on sort of by everyone. He's a
victim of society. Joker face. But, yeah. That, and I need to rewind a little bit because I didn't get to share everything. This is well past his divorce, too.
Oh.
See, when he was starting up his YouTube, keep in mind he was doing alcohol slams only about a year later. So his old lady saw that between the alcohol slamming and, you know, him getting drunk and also him pursuing YouTube as a career, between both of those factors, she saw him as maybe too volatile and not exactly consistent enough as a parent, and so she kind of dipped.
Is that what ShoeNice has said about her, or what she's said about him, or?
In the Vice interview that was spoken about.
Okay.
Basically, how ShoeNice put it is, he really wanted to pursue this dream, and she wasn't having it. Simply put, they could not agree on that, so they split ways.
Damn.
So now he is a single father, kind of. I mean, he doesn't have full custody over the kid, but he is a single father that's trying to follow his dream, and he ends up, a couple years later, getting picked on the streets as a homeless dude getting fed alcohol.
Yeah, that's fucked. I blame a lot of people for that circumstance, not just him. Obviously, part of it was his fault, but, like, damn, that's a shitty situation to be in, man.
Now, something that we should bring up. It's been a few years since then, you know? The channel deletion, ever since, 2022 he started doing Cameo, I think?
Oh, okay.
And like he said in the interview, since then, you know, his income's been all right. So, like we saw, maybe he's on the upturn, you know? We don't want to make any promises here exactly, but it seems like ShoeNice is turning things around at least a little bit. I think he has his own place now.
He's been sober for a while.
Mm-hmm. I've been keeping updated on his YouTube, and recently it seems like it's just re-uploads of his old stuff that's been lost that he's managed to find again in the archives of the internet, you know? But, like, in terms of actual new content, he's halted, kind of, which means he's keeping what he said. It'd be really cool to see in the future him doing something really big.
Like fixing world hunger.
Fixing world hunger, on God. Though I do wonder, and I didn't get to asking him that, how is he going to do that?
I'm sure he'll think of something. ShoeNice eating actual magma on stream to fix world hunger.
That would go hard. I think he'd probably die, but...
I don't think so. That man could eat anything.
Stomach limiter is broken.
Hear me out. Branded shoes
Just say nice.
that
Dude.
are edible.
The ShoeNice shoe line, that would go so hard.
All the proceeds go to fixing world hunger.
That would be great. You know what, ShoeNice? If you're actually listening to this episode, you should do that. That's your first step. Maybe not the first step. Maybe go to Hollywood and then figure out how to do a fundraiser through that with your gained popularity.
Yeah, I don't know if edible shoes are really a profitable, like,
I don't think that's
business.
even
I
feasible.
don't think the shoes should be edible.
No, they should
I'm gonna
be.
keep it $1.50. I don't think... What?
They should be.
He's explained it. They're made out of textiles. They
Well, yeah,
can't-
that's why you make them out of edible stuff.
You know what, ShoeNice?
ShoeNice,
Go find some bioengineers.
ShoeNice, do not listen to us. We're dumb. Do what you're doing now. It seems like you're doing great.
We're doing a podcast as a side gig. That should tell you a lot of
A
things.
side gig?
Spence, this isn't your full-time job, is it?
What, you think we make money off of this?
Don't tell them that.
I just thought we were three idiots in a basement.
I mean, we are three idiots in a basement.
I'll put it this way. The people playing Atlas Earth are making more money than us.
Shut the fuck up about Atlas Earth. I will not download your ad farming garbage.
Okay, there goes our advertising opportunity for Atlas Earth.
Shit. Atlas Earth. I take it.
Listen, okay?
Gives a whole
We should
3
wrap up.
pennies.
We should wrap up this documentary here. What are you guys' thoughts on the story of ShoeNice?
Spence, you've been quiet for a bit. What do you think?
I think he had very rough beginnings. I can't relate to that exactly. But from that to his career in the armed services, and then to his potential YouTube career, or not potential, but actual YouTube career. I mean, he did what he had to at first, and then he did what he enjoyed. Now, yes, that comes with swings and roundabouts, with the lows and the highs. But I mean, he made a good living off of what he did and what he liked to do. And I'm curious to see where that takes him in his future career and possibly in Hollywood. Tommy?
Thoughts, Tommy?
So when I think of ShoeNice, I think of those stories you hear when people win the lottery and then they do a bunch of drugs and become like awful alcoholics. It seems like he's a guy who's always tried to do the right thing, and he just happened to pick up a couple bad habits along the way. I'm really happy to see he's on the up and up, because it felt like a lot of people online got very morbidly curious about him, and that caused him to gain a lot of popularity and a lot of unexpected financial growth, which has destroyed people's lives before.
And in a way, it kind of destroyed his.
And it's good to see that he's kind of built it back up. I really hope the guy continues this path, and, you know, we can joke about, hey, we got to talk to ShoeNice, you know, that guy who eats things on those low-budget kung fu films or whatever he's gonna do in the future.
Right. That'll be very exciting. But it does, if anything, above all else, he stands as a testament to just remaining on YouTube, remaining relevant, at least somewhat, throughout all the years. He made his channel in 2008. How many channels that still upload today and get views today and gain subs today have been around since 2008? And yes, I know his channel got deleted, but let's not count that, because he's still got this channel. And it might as well be a continuation of the first.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of staying power to his, like, overall personality. He's got a very zany kind of energy he brings to any given table.
And think about it, too. His content maybe until recently, where, you know, he's working on new things, hasn't changed practically at all. I mean, the alcohol slams have stopped, but other than that, dude, he's been eating the same weird shit since 2010. You know?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I was in elementary school then.
Yeah.
And he's still doing the same thing, and it's working.
I guess for Spence and I, it's weird because we know about ShoeNice from you. So for you, it's like this was like one of your idols in high school. What was it like growing up with ShoeNice?
I don't
and
think
then
I
getting
would
to talk to him.
I don't think I'd call him exactly my idol, but it was always just so interesting to log on to YouTube, like during study hall, during middle school, and just see what he ate. It's like, damn, how is he going to top this? What is he going to do next? And, you know, that was just really fun. And it feels weird to talk to someone like that, because internet celebrities sometimes feel kind of untouchable to, like, the normal person, you know? I wouldn't consider us celebrities by any means.
We ain't celebrities.
No.
Like I said before, we're three idiots in a basement.
Pretty much. And
Talking
you know,
into a microphone.
Talking to someone like ShoeNice, it was surprising. I mean, not everyone's gonna be like chill like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was so easy to like just get around talking to him, and it felt cathartic and weird. It was like a unique feeling I hadn't experienced before. You know, it's like, you know how a lot of people have parasocial relationships on like Twitch with streamers and stuff, like really big streamers?
Yeah.
Completely different from that. Because, you know, they're getting a minute amount of attention. They might barely get read for paying out hundreds of dollars. You know, I paid a small fee to talk to him, and I just got everything I wanted. It was just a conversation with the dude. You know, in some ways it feels like, I don't know, let's say a Michael Jordan fan goes up and pays Michael Jordan $60 and he just gets to sit down and talk with him. Not even for a few seconds. Just like steal an hour out of his day. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe no one can relate out there with that, but for me it was just so weird.
I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who grew up with ShoeNice.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably all happy his homeless arc is done.
Yeah, it's certainly a low point, dude. I don't know. But yeah, I think he stands against the test of time. As a YouTuber that always remains at least somewhat relevant in the eyes of the community.
He's going to start streaming soon. That'll be fun.
I'm excited to see what he streams. I don't know. Before we close out, what is ShoeNice streaming? Because I don't think he mentioned what he's streaming.
Ooh, so we all should like make fun guesses about the kinds of games he would play. All right, Spence, you first.
House Flipper 2.
House Flipper 2.
ShoeNice is a Civilization guy.
Do you have this on record, or like are you just
it's just the vibe.
It's
okay?
just the vibe.
I don't have anything to back this up at all. But he strikes me either as a Civ guy or he's like an original Fallout guy. Not the 3D Fallouts, like Fallout 1 and 2.
I want to change my answer.
I swear if you stole my idea, I'm going to piss and shit.
Hearts of Iron 4.
Okay, never mind.
Keep in mind, though, he was born in 69, so he's probably a retro guy. If we're talking, like, games that, you know, are relatively recent, that's what I'd name, but let's be real, he's probably a Nintendo guy.
Hubert?
He might be a Sega guy, too. I don't know.
The vibe I get from ShoeNice is he's the dad who always has either GTA or Call of Duty Zombies on speed dial on any given console.
Dude, I bet he flames so many fucking teenagers. I bet he would.
I bet he plays zombies, and I bet he plays GTA. Though that's what I think ShoeNice does, but I don't know. It's just the vibes I got.
Just a feeling.
Just a feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. On second thought, with the Civ guess, I don't know if he'd play strategy games. I don't feel like that's his vibe. You might be on the money, Tommy. I'm gonna keep it $1.50. He's got to be a retro gamer, though.
I don't know about that. I feel like it's Call of Duty Black Ops and like GTA 5.
Maybe, but keep in mind, like I said, he grew up in the time that those consoles were birthed.
Yeah. Do not speak the old magic to him, for he was there when it was
created. All right. Do we have any closing thoughts on this?
Why don't you send us off, Trev? This was your documentary episode. Why don't you hit us with a conclusion, and we'll sign off for the night.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for listening to the ShoeNice documentary. I really appreciate you coming on, ShoeNice, and I hope we can collaborate with you in the future, especially when you get into Hollywood and make your dreams come true. I'm Mustard.
I'm Chicken.
And I'm the space between.
Wow, I think that was our worst intro yet, guys. Good night.
Outro.
Intro.
Listen.
This is the outro.
Oh, no.
On your mark, game face. Marge Simpson face. Yeah, homie. Where's the fuck is the meth bag? ShoeNice.